The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
Aloha, welcome to Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda, episode number 71. My name is J.E.
John Hendricks.
That's right.
Yeah.
And together we're venturing onward into a really crazy NFL. But before we get into that,
Just hold for a second.
you'll notice I'm adorned with the maroon and white of one Texas A&M.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that before. But yeah, my brother graduated from there. My sister graduated from there. I grew up in Bryan College Station my entire young life and had a grand time there. They came from behind after falling behind 30-3 to defeat the South Carolina Gamecocks 31-30.
Largest comeback, I believe, in program history.
Correct.
Given the circumstances, too, of being ranked number 3 in the country, kind of pushing that playoff was a big deal. I will allow for this deviation for that point only.
Just that one.
He sprung it upon me, but I'll allow for it, and I'll say congratulations. I know you're an ardent fan. You hung in there. It was a great start to your Saturday morning. And I'll also note, too, it's okay, too, to do this. This is an NFL show because there are so many darn good, almost top-level NFL players right now playing in the league that matriculated from A&M.
You
This
are
is a
correct,
fact.
sir.
Look them up. Look them up. I'm not going to give you the names.
Some of them playing on some teams that I wish they weren't
Doesn't
playing
matter.
for Miles Garrett. But anyway,
Best in the business, maybe.
we'll hop into it.
That was totally fair.
Our 5 games that we chose, boy, they were pretty good ball games all told, boy.
Yeah.
First one,
No real
Buffalo and
duds.
Tampa Bay. I'm going like, oh, my gosh. What is John thinking right now? On
A
the
lot.
first interception by Josh Allen.
Disaster.
The little push shovel.
Terrible.
What was it, John? Josh, you're not a rookie. That's a rookie kind of mistake there.
That was
And
old Josh.
I had a lot of foreboding there. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
What's
Felt
gonna-
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But end result, man, a spoiler alert. What is it? 6 touchdowns?
6. Yeah.
Wow. I'm watching this. Well, he's shut down the MVP voting pretty much on this one ball game. It would be hard to say no, John. You're telling me that does not have any effect on that MVP voting?
He accounted for his errors. That terrible throwaway on your own end zone, which I understood, but it was a pure panic move. He also had some other errors in the game, including another interception.
Yep.
So he accounted for his errors. You take away those errors, then you don't need all that great play. So I'm going to be a little bit rough on Josh because we're expecting a lot out of him. He's the reigning MVP. He should not make those kind of plays. And again, we said before last week that Mr. Stafford was the leader in the clubhouse. At least I
Right.
used those words.
Right.
And then whether or not he did anything this week, we'll talk about a little later.
Right,
The damage
right,
I
right.
said is he was incredible. It was required 9 lead changes in this game. Probably the most entertaining game of the day.
I would think so. That's
As,
really
as
up
far
there.
as games that have ramifications. Tough one for the Buccaneers. They're coming off some losses now. Their record's kind of evening
I got
out.
hats off to him. You're depleted by way of offensive
true.
weapons there.
It's true.
No Evans, no Bucky Irving. I mean,
Yeah.
the list went on and on, tight ends. But yet they stayed with them for a while and made it close again, as they always do. But they fall to 6-4 now, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And that South's getting a little bit tighter. We may do a show on our predictions at the beginning of the season to see where we're at. Because, you know where I'm going. I see this.
Yeah, Dave Canales. It always comes back to Dave Canales.
Carolina Panthers, boy. Well, that's another one. But again, back to this ball game. Josh is a player that can put the team on his back, as I've said in the shows past there. And he did it himself here. The defense, it's all right. But again, they depend on that offense to make it move.
It's a problem going forward, meaning the Buffalo Bills defense is a problem moving forward, and it's been a problem all year, minus a few. I think that the game against the Chiefs was a good defensive performance, but they've got injuries, they've got gaps, they've got areas where they just don't have the players because they have so much of their salary tied into offensive players, and that happens to a lot of great teams.
Yep.
So that's a problem going forward. But, hey, it's a victory. They're 7-3. They're way behind the 9-2 Patriots. They already have a loss against them.
They keep their hopes alive for the seeding as well. So
and there you could be in worse positions than AFC as far as perennial favorites. So as one of the top level AFC teams, they came out okay. They came out all right.
And you try to get at least one playoff game at home if you possibly can.
And I'll just note too, for our prognostications, we both got this one correct. We
Right.
both picked the Bills, and
Right.
your score was closer than mine. You pretty much had it on the money if you go back and look at the film on that. So good job for both of us. Not an easy game. And again, 9 lead changes, super fun, entertaining game, enjoyable morning start, good with a cup of coffee.
Boom. And my prediction of Buffalo to the Super Bowl's still intact.
It's still intact.
There we
Yep.
go. All right, Chicago 19, Minnesota 17.
Fascinating.
Yeah, again, you're in my head, boy. I'm going like, boy, he's right. He is right about J.J. McCarthy.
It's tough.
Gee whiz, very bad throws. But he still managed to have opportunity. But Chicago defense showing up there. Only 17 points for
Only 17
Minnesota.
points. True story.
So
And a late lead. They had a late lead. This came down to Cairo Santos coming through. Almost like
5 games coming back in the final 2 minutes this season.
gritty. Yeah.
Williams, okay, he is a magician of getting out of would-be sacks. I think it was 3 of them where you thought, all right, he's sacked completely, but he wriggled his way out of those, continue onward, and got some first downs as well.
They got 140 yards in this game, which I think was the difference, if you will, because kind of Caleb Williams and McCarthy kind of neutralized each other, even though McCarthy had the throwing errors that we like to call interceptions in this game. A nice surprise, if you will, from the Bears was being able to hold the Vikings to 17 because the defense has been a problem for them, and they've been having to score a lot of points late, and that wasn't that kind of a game. And we go back to McCarthy and my concerns about his arm and just in those situations. Again, just 16 of 32, which incidentally, so is Caleb. Both players 16 of 32. That's easy math for challenge people like myself. 50%. That's not good enough, especially when 2 of those are interceptions. But the hard thing with McCarthy is kind of like he just does enough at the end of games that's like huge. He has that touchdown to keep you lingering and believing in him, and that's going to be. He's not so dismal and terrible. And he does big things in big times to keep you in games. It kind of keeps you lingering and believing. And maybe that, again, it's the arm strength. I seen some of those throws out there.
The one of the
They don't
end
look
zone
good.
where had it been just a little bit further, Nashawn Wright for the Bears picks that one off. Boy, that's a touchdown right there.
Yeah, you want to say Nashawn high pointed it, but it didn't really need to high point it. It wasn't underthrown by a ton like we've seen from other quarterbacks out there that just don't have the arm. But I don't know.
We saw Justin Jefferson get frustrated at times during the course of the ball game, but at the same token, he dropped some passes as well. There was a couple of completions that it should have gone Minnesota's way, but nonetheless, they go down in defeat.
Yeah.
Fall to 4-6.
Yeah, they're done.
That North is really just starting to separate itself out. We'll talk more about that in the future.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, but Chicago, would you have thought 7-3 at the beginning? They started 0-2 to start the season.
Yeah, and they've been on a heater. They've been on a run of these close games, and it's hopefully for them, the Bears. If you're a Bears fan, it's building up some determination, resiliency, winning these close games. But I'm sorry, they've got to beat a winning team. Call me when they beat a winning team. I understand that, but give me a quality win. Give me a quality win in any shape, way. Even if they get lucky, I don't care. I need to see a quality win from them. Other than that, yeah. But 7-3 wins a win.
Can't argue with that.
I want to see a quality win, though.
Of the North there.
Top of the North food chain. Yeah. What? But that's largely because their colleagues, if you want to call it, their peers or whatever, their division mates, have played much tougher schedules than them, and they're losing some of those tough games, and they played each other more. So we'll see.
There you go.
We'll see how it shakes out. Yeah.
But he sure is looking much better under the tutelage of Ben Johnson there.
Yeah, he's making big plays late. He's not taking the sacks like you said, and he never throws for a lot of picks, so he's not putting you in harm's way there.
You took the words out of my mouth. I thought not many interceptions.
No, that helps a lot. Field position, it helps a lot. It matters. These ugly, boring things in football that people don't like paying attention to other than you and I, they matter.
Speaking of ugly, boring things that matter, I'm just bringing this is one that you normally wouldn't hear too much of it, but a punt. Los Angeles Rams punter punts it all the way down to the half-foot line. It goes out of bounds.
It was a hole-in-one.
Oh,
if you want to compare it to golf, it was a hole-in-one.
Yeah,
right.
Helping the Rams defeat the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 21-19. Granted, 4 interceptions by Sam Darnold. They said, "Hey man, they started the game with the Jets Sam Darnold. Not everything is on the QB. Okay, the defensive end came on after the ball game.
Ernest Jones the fourth.
He says it ain't his fault, man.
Well, he said more than that.
Yeah. This quarterback has helped us out all season long. I'm not putting it all on one game for this guy, man.
That's a very smart thing to say moving forward because there's a lot of ball left to be played, and he knows, Ernest Jones IV knows Sam Darnold's history. So getting that kind of encouragement and support from a quality player that's been with the Seahawks and their defense for a long time, a guy that matters, that's really important. To any of you out there today, like myself, people like myself that are saying, there's a Sam Darnold you're going to get at the end of the year in the playoffs. He just said, I'm dismissing your discouragement. I'm dismissing your pessimism. I'm dismissing your recollection of history.
We got his
matter.
back.
Right. We wouldn't be here where we are without him. He's won games for us with his arm.
7-3.
And weird game. So I'm just going to say, you picked the Seahawks, I picked the Rams. I'm not gloating because this was a weird game that comes down to 21-19.
21-19.
And the potential for the Seahawks. They did kick a field goal at the end of the game. It wasn't a very good attempt. It was from really, really far away. But if it goes in, you're right, I'm wrong. So I'm not taking a lot of satisfaction out of calling this game correctly. What I am noting is what you said earlier is that how come the Rams didn't win this game by more points in a more convincing fashion and not have to hope for a long field goal miss when Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions?
Defense
How come?
of Seattle.
Pretty darn good.
Wow.
Yeah, because it started out looking like a lot of Rams games where like kind of the Seahawks games were looking for them where it's like boom, boom, score, 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 get ahead, stay ahead. Second half irrelevant. It didn't turn out that way at all. The Rams really kind of had to claw and hang on and fight and battle, and partially due to the fact that when the Seahawks were able to get into scoring position, they couldn't finish because, oh, by the way, newsflash, the Rams have a pretty darn good defense too that clamps down in the red zone. Most of those 4 interceptions were like that. That's the Sam Darnold I'm seeing ghost against when he was with the Jets against the Patriots kind of interceptions where it's like those interceptions were really ugly ones, like just like no chance and like just panic. But to his credit, meaning Mr. Darnold, after those 4 interceptions, he came back and played reasonably well to put him in positions to score and win. Yeah, and he didn't completely crumble, and I give him credit for that because they didn't end those games on one of those interceptions. They happened in the early part and in the middle of the game, and he was quote unquote resilient. That's what he's kind of relying on and telling you like, yeah, we're fine, we're good, we could have had this game.
I mean, they allowed only 34 yards rushing in the second half.
They meaning the Seahawks.
Seahawks. Boy.
Yeah.
But again, the Rams themselves, man, Devontae didn't have a very good ball game. He had some drop.
One big catch. One big catch. Touchdown.
8 targets.
Yeah.
2018 Rams started 9-1, finished 13-3, and lost Super Bowl versus New England.
The Rams are looking sharp. Their defense is looking terrific. Their running game is there with Kyren Williams, and they're mostly healthy. But that's 10 games in. So we'll see. We'll see.
On we go. Another good ball game. I got this one right, John.
Yeah.
Denver.
I was wrong.
At home versus KC. Denver 22, KC 19. Denver improves to 9-2. KC falls to 5-5.
You say what now? Read that back.
Wow.
What did you say?
The
5-5?
Kansas City Chiefs 5-5.
They are 500 after 10 games into week 11. Yikes. And
Denver.
I'll point. Yeah,
Controls.
I got this one wrong. It's the only one I got wrong all
That's
week.
right. 4
and
out
I
of
believe
5.
there was a quote of like, there's so much separation in our picks that the winner buys beverage. Wait, it was the winner buys beverage. Never mind. Edit that part out. Edit that part out. But good call on this one. Sticking with the Broncos. Why? Why did you stick with the Broncos?
I said defense.
Yeah. Okay.
And they still were missing Patrick Surtain.
That's good. Good point.
In the back there. And one other, I think a defensive lineman as well. But yet, wow. Very good defensive effort.
I'm glad you brought that up. No Patrick Surtain, but still, it was a defensive performance, a defensive win with Bo Nix having a really, really solid game. Look at the numbers here. Pretty darn good. Almost 300 yards in the air against the Chiefs defense that is no slouches, too, with all that pressure being on them, too. And then, of course, late game. That drive.
4 of the final 5 drives were scoring drives
Yeah.
when you needed to have the points.
But the drive that mattered the most was a Kansas City drive. When you have the ball last, or when you have an opportunity to have the ball last, to make first downs, to bleed out the clock, to basically kick a field goal with no time on the clock to either win the game or
Right.
go into overtime. Oh, that's the Kansas City Chiefs did it again. Nope, that was last year.
35 years, almost
That
the
was
same
last year.
distance.
That was
It
blocked
got blocked, yeah.
Not this year. Different year, different teams.
Yeah.
For Bo Nix to be able to do that with all of the scrutiny he's been facing, even in the face of this winning streak they've been having, poor Bo Nix has not been able to enjoy the win streak as much because he's been getting a lot of criticism, a lot of scrutiny from people like myself as well that just haven't been seeing it on the field. They've been winning in spite of Bo Nix, not throwing great balls, not throwing timely completions, not getting those first downs. He got first downs on long third and longs to keep that drive alive. Throwing the ball very, very well, very composed.
Crucial times, too, especially at the end of the ball game, as you mentioned there.
I'm going to say this was the biggest game of the year for any team and any player that we've seen yet. Even though regardless of conference or anything of that nature, because it involved the Chiefs, because the Chiefs are now 5-5, because the Chiefs don't look like they have a chance to win their division, which would be never happen in the Patrick Mahomes era.
In a decade, there
Never happened in the Patrick Mahomes era. And the fact that it was Bo Nix at the end, it wasn't just a defensive score or grinding out a running game. Bo Nix needed this game. He got him this game, and no one could be happier than Sean Payton right now.
6-0 at home. There's only one other team perfect at home as well, and that is the Indianapolis Colts.
Massive game for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Great pick by you on your part.
Defense wins it, baby. All right, final game, pretty good one as well. Philly and Detroit, 16-9. Philadelphia improves to 8-2. Detroit drops to 6-4. You mentioned it every year with Jalen Carter and the rest of that defensive line for Philadelphia. I mean, they wreaked havoc with Goff there. He couldn't get a pass beyond the scrimmage line. Knocked it down, knocked it down, knocked it down.
If you thought Sam Darnold looked bad with his 4 picks, Jared Goff looked worse with his 1 interception. And there's a reason why he only had 1 interception. He was scared to throw it close to anybody.
Yeah.
Because he would have had more picks. You know what his completion percentage was in this game after all said and done, game's over, 37%. For a guy,
Yikes.
a quarterback who was leading the entire league in completion percentage coming into this game.
Well, that's because they played Washington last week, and
That don't hurt.
We found out how bad Washington is.
Yeah. But that being the case, 37%, and again,
He was under pressure the whole entire evening. Now, hey, I want him one player, okay?
fired off.
He goes from Miami Dolphins, Jalen
Yeah,
Phillips,
buddy.
and comes to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
go from the dredges of what we ain't going anywhere in the postseason already. I know that too. Hey, I have a chance to win my own Super Bowl ring here.
Yeah.
The guy went off, boy. A second straight week in QB pressures helps to lead the team there. Got his first sack as an Eagle as well, but caught another gem in that defense for Philadelphia.
We don't have time left in the show to list all of, even just to name all of Philadelphia's quality defensive players. But you're right.
Loaded, man.
Talk about, it's like moving into a whole new neighborhood. I'm going to throw this one at you, too. That it's not like it was a mystery. It was being talked about during the game. But between Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, 5 passes batted down between them, and one of those leading to the only interception of the game. Jalen Carter, I give him so much credit every week in and out for being the center, the focal point, I believe, of that defense that is second bar to none. Jordan Davis, give that guy, he's there too. He's just as big. He's just as scary. Well, maybe not as scary or agile, athletic, but the two of them, when they're in there together, and that's the point. They don't even need to be in there together. One can take a rest. The other can, not, Carter can take a lot of rest, but Davis can be out. Carter can control, bring Davis back in fresh. It's not even about stopping the run. They can stop the pass from those positions. It's scary.
And they did a lot of stopping. Okay, on third down, okay? 0 for 5 for the Lions.
Fourth down.
On their first 8 drives, man.
Yeah. Oh, on third down? Yeah.
0
And then,
for 5.
how about the
and
fourth
then
down? Yeah.
fourth down, to your point again.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm not a Dan Campbell. He goes for it too much on fourth down.
Yeah.
Even the fake punt, they tried that.
Right.
So 0
that doesn't
for
even,
5.
Yeah. Yeah, that fake punt was stuffed, like they seen it
Yeah.
coming, and Collinsworth points out during the broadcast, like they had their full number one defense on the field.
You ain't fooling us, coach.
So how does Dan Campbell not notice that? Either change it up, change the call, or call a timeout, not just let it happen. Are you just giving up? And I'll point this out too. This happened during this game. The brotherly shove, aka the tush push,
Yeah.
was successfully stopped twice. Not once, but twice, and it still didn't matter. It wasn't good enough. Jared Goff was really bad. And not all entirely his fault. The poor guy was just under trauma all night long, and he looks just on one play. He got tackled from both sides at the same time and just put his body in different directions. Defense, Philly, watch out. Holy cow.
That's what's
if
gonna
that
carry
offense can ever get it together, they
Because
don't
they
need
don't
to.
have it right now.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
They don't need to until the tournament. Then A.J. Brown can have 7 touchdowns in the tournament. And all is forgiven. All is forgotten.
I think only
Yikes.
46 yards rushing for Saquon. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't need it, though.
Who? What? Saquon what?
All right, we come towards the end of the episode number 71. Thanks again for watching Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda. Don't forget, question, comments, opinions, sports, and Aleo.tv. Here's the 4 games we're inviting you to check out along with us. Steelers at the Bears. Okay, 6-4 Steelers, 6 wins, 4 losses, and the Bears 7-3. One of the intriguing aspects of this was, I'm not quite sure if he's going to play because he hurt his wrist, Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But when Aaron was with the Packers, he made the motion about, I own
Right.
the Bears.
Good point.
What a little
And now
taste
he
of
wasn't
him.
saying the Packers own the Bears. He's saying I do because Aaron's an I guy.
Right,
and This
right.
is me. I own you. So he still feels that way, I'm sure.
So they're really waiting and hoping that he's going to be the QB and not Mason Rudolph. By the way, one last thing on that.
Well,
The third string quarterback, should Aaron not play and Mason goes in and gets
do you
hurt,
got? Who
his
do you
name
got?
is Will Howard.
okay.
That kid,
Ohio State?
yes, he was injured. He suited up for the first time this past week. I was hoping to get a look at him, but that kid, mark my word, he's going to be something for them in the future here.
So wrist injury, non-throwing hand
Right.
for Aaron Rodgers, minor break, which I find that to be kind of an oxymoron. Any fractures, like, oh, it's just a small one.
Right.
Okay. But he wants to play, I read. He's planning to play.
He said he wants to
That's
play.
kind of weird. Mason Rudolph came in and played well. I don't know if that's just a factor of where they were at in the game, or is he actually, could he do capably well? But I'm just going to put Mason Rudolph in this game, and even not playing that poorly. But I'm going to continue, like I said last week, I'm going to ride the Caleb Williams train, which I did to victory last week. I'm going to stay on that train. I'm going to pick Chicago, regardless of the circumstances, at home to keep the train going and go to 8-3 and push the Steelers to 6-5, 23-17 for the Chicago Bears.
Well,
what you got? Who you like and why?
I'm jumping on that bandwagon for the Bears as
Okay.
well. I'm
All right.
convinced now the Bears 27-20.
Yeah.
4-6.
Okay.
Against the Packers 6-3-1. Vikings, this is already a must win.
You could look at it that way. I've already discarded them from the conversation. So what I think you're looking at here is it's a must-win for not for the Vikings, but for the Packers. If they can win, then they put a lot of pressure on the Bears, and they put even more pressure on the Lions. And I will simply, I can't see J.J. McCarthy doing well against this defense, which is still pretty good. Held Philly to 7. The last time I saw them, they had a tough win. I'm going to say Green Bay is going to win this one 27-18.
And for yours truly, I will go with the Pack 31
Choke points.
to the Vikings 17.
That's a lot of points against a Brian Flores defense, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see about
Colts and Chiefs. Colts 8-2. Chiefs 5-5. Another must-win game. This one with the Chiefs.
That's almost a must-win for both. Not really, but kind of. I get what you're saying, but if the Colts don't win this game and they go to 8-3, okay, I understand that they're still, looking pretty solid in their division, which is not that strong and things of that nature. But the Chiefs are on the ropes. They're on the ropes, and they're not Muhammad Ali. They're not playing rope-a-dope. They're not on the rope. They're going to bounce and then knock you out. They're on the ropes for sure. So the whole conference, the whole league is looking to Indy to knock them out. And if they can't get it done and they don't win this game and they go to 8-3, they're still fine. They're still comfortable, but there's questions then. Are you actually tournament ready? If you can't knock out the Chiefs when they're on the ropes like this, there's questions about how well you're going to do in a tournament. I'm not going to pick first this time, but because I don't want to pick against the Chiefs. I want to, but I don't. I don't know what to do on this one. You've got me. You've got me confounded.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
We saw some remnants of Daniel Jones in the last ball game with some turnovers and such.
Okay.
But again, I think their backs are to the wall. They need to score. They're going to have to really pull all the punch, everything they can to garner a win.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say 29 for the Chiefs and 25.
I love it.
For the Colts.
I love weird scores. I'm going to stick with the Chiefs because, again, backs against the wall. And I saw what happened to Daniel Jones against the Steelers defense.
Right.
That, with the T.J. Watt, or, you've got a very tough defense in Kansas City. And that's when Jones looks like a statue and he reverts himself back. The question is going to be basically, can Jonathan Taylor dictate this game basically on both sides? Dictate it in the sense that limiting the ability for the Chiefs defense to get after Daniel Jones and make it a Daniel Jones game, and also dictate in the sense that keeping Patrick Mahomes and the offense of the Chiefs off the field.
Off the field.
I'm going to just stick with the Chiefs, and if they don't win, I'm going to tell you right now it's because Jonathan Taylor got him, not because Daniel Jones did. But I'm going to take the Chiefs to win 24-23 in a weird game. Yeah.
Close ball game.
Yeah. We're simpatico so far.
And finally, again, we're
3 for 3.
using those words, must win again.
Well, this time of year, let's say it all the time.
Buccaneers in the South trying to stay ahead of the surging Carolina Panthers.
Oh, my God, the Dave Canales Panthers.
Yeah, they're taking on the Rams in L.A., 8-2.
Yeah.
So, on this one here, again, using the must win.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't do it. I wanted to.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to. But again, we don't have any knowledge on the injury bug, whether it's going to be a positive.
Per Mike Evans or Godwin.
Yeah.
Had
they
makes
had
a difference.
one or two of those, big difference there. But I'll go with the Bucs again.
Wow.
Must win. And I will go 27. This is going to be 26.
I love it. 27-26 for J.E. I'm not. I just look what the Rams did against the Seahawks, and I believe the Seahawks were better. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. It's the same thing. It's these quarterback reclamations. And those quarterback reclamations did not have a good week, last week in week 11. They lost. These names that we love feeling so good about coming back in their careers and having so much success. And it's just a lesson to all of us out there. If you don't first succeed and you're not great at your profession, hang in there. Somebody will give you a second chance and you could be the MVP too one day. Nah.
Shadur Sanders is listening to you, perhaps.
Oh, boy.
Anyway,
ouch, Shadur. Ouch.
So yours.
I'm going with the Rams just because I think they can do what they did to Sam Darnold, but Baker won't look as bad because Baker's not as bad, but it's going to be more than enough, and I think the Rams are going to win this one. I think they're going to score some points. I think they're going to get 31 points. The Buccaneers will score some late points, keep it close, and it'll be 31-25, so it'll look good, but it'll be a pretty convincing performance by the Rams.
All right, well, there you go. 4 ball games. Then after that, we've got the special Thanksgiving show.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So I'll be looking forward to that.
I love this time of year.
But until then, it's starting to separate. We'll be talking about the playoffs and who's going to be in, who's going to be out, and then the seeding part, which is going to be very interesting as well.
Sounds fun.
Who gets that home game?
Yeah.
All right, again, my name is J.E.
treat.
Orozco, along with John Hendricks. We're bidding you a fond aloha.
Ahui ho.